In this video, I'll be teaching you guys how to create a void on a framing concrete beam. There's other ways of creating voids, however, they don't work on this particular type of beam for some reason. I will show you guys how to do it the correct way. So typically, the old school way of doing it would be to go to your structure tab, then you would go to your components and model in place. Typically you want to go to the specific category your family's in. So since this is a structural foundation family, I'm choosing structural foundation. You click on it. I'm not going to change the name for now. And then you want to choose what type of extrusion you want to do to create your void. For mine, I'm going to use the extrusion one to keep it simple. I'm going to create just like a rectangle. I'm going to zoom in here, and then I want to cut into my concrete beam here. So I'm just going to create here. Come on, let me create it here. It's not letting me. 1 second here. I'll just draw lines then. It's just being a little stubborn, my Revit there. Okay, I'm gonna go to a 3D view so you guys can see it, and I'm just gonna extrude it downward. So I need a negative. I'll make it 4 feet. I will click. I will change this from solid. You want to change that to a void, and then you click apply so you can see the extent of your extrusion. So at this point, what you would do is you would go to your cut on your geometry here, click on that, and then it's going to ask you to click. Always read your parameters down here. It says to pick the geometry to be cut. So what we're trying to cut is the concrete beam. As you can see, it won't let me. So this is the reason I'm going to teach you guys a different technique that will work. But since we're already in here, I guess I can teach you guys how this type of void would be applicable. So if I would extend the void further up, and again go to my cut geometry here, click cut, and then this time instead of selecting my beam, which I can't, I'm gonna select my wall. And as you can see, it does highlight it. So when I click on the wall, then it's gonna ask me to click on the void geometry, which we already set to be this right here. So once we click on that and we click finish, there you go. There's my cut wall. But this video is not about cutting geometry in a wall. We want to cut our geometry in our beam. So I'm going to go back to my plan view. The way you go about it is you're going to double click on your beam. Hopefully it'll activate the family. Let's go 3D view. Just want to double click on the family. Now that we're in here, we're going to modify this family. That's the way you go about using this technique. So I want to save as, because I don't want to change my current family. So I'm going to save as, and I'm going to save it, and I'm going to call it a void. So I'll go to dash and type in void like that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click over here, and I'm going to activate the cut with voids when prompted. And then I'm going to click on the actual family here. And then once I click on the family, on the extrusion, as you can see, I'm going to change it from a solid. This is the key. You want to change it from a solid. You want to change it to void. And then once you do that, I'm going to click save, because I do want to save this family. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to load it into my project here. Now it's in here. So now what I want to do is I want to use that beam family. So I'm going to draw a beam coming in horizontally like that. Okay. Now I'm going to go to my 3D view so you guys can see it. There you go. There it is. So my 3D view, it's cutting through. As you can see from plan view, it's cutting through. You can't see it, but let me just make my beam transparent so you guys can see how it cuts through it. apply that, and that should, I don't know why it's not working. Let me see here, override. Basically all I'm doing is making my beam transparent, but for some reason it's not letting me. So let's just cut across it. So let's say we go and we cut across it just like that. There we go. That's better. So let's go back to our 3D view here. Now basically all we did was modify the copied the concrete beam, save as, and we modified the parameters of it and converted it to a void extrusion, because the original family was made as an extrusion but as a solid. All we did was change it from a solid extrusion to a void extrusion. So now if you were to again apply the geometry, cut geometry, it's going to ask you to select element to be select the element to be cut. In this case it's going to be the beam, and we're cutting it with our void beam. And once you click on that, and then there you go. There you go. As you can see, if I go to my 3D, but then I'll change the graphics to a shaded. As you can see, it's the same beam. It's one singular beam with a void in there. And I can go back to my plan view, and let's say I want to add multiple ones. I can use that same beam and make multiple. Or I can take this one, let's say, since the beam is still there, you can always hide it. It's there, you can't see it, but I can copy it down further, like that. And now if I needed to make multiple extrusions or voids, all I would do is apply the same command. So I would go to, I would go to structures. No, it's under modify. Let me see here. Let me make this smaller. Go to modify. We're going to cut geometry. We're going to choose what we want to cut, which is our beam, and what we're cutting it with. And there you go. And same thing here. Do it again. Click on cut geometry. Click what we want to cut, what we want to cut it with, second click, and there you go. Apply it a third time. What we want to cut, click. What we want to cut it with, click, second click, and there you go. And there you go. There's multiple voids in my beam. So I hope this video was very useful for you guys in any situation where you find yourself where you need to cut through a beam. Another thing I didn't do, but you can do it, is you can take that same beam. I'll go back again. Sorry, I'll do one more. I'll bring it down here. And then let's say go to a 3D view like that. And then I can make this smaller if I needed to. Let's say if I want to make it, I can duplicate this family and call it adjusted beam for now. And now what I can do is I can make this 1 foot by 1 foot extruded beam, just like that. And then what I can do is I can drag it down. Well, let me undo that. So what I want to do is I'll go to my plan view, and I will lower it by, let's say I'll lower it by 10 inches. So negative 10 inches here on my constraints, negative 10 inches there. I'll click apply. Now if I go to my 3D view, it's right in the middle of the beam. So I just want to show you guys how you can also do a void through the middle of a concrete beam. So now I'm going to use the same process. Click on cut geometry. I'm going to choose the beam for what's being cut, and then for the second click I'm going to choose the void. And there you go. There is my void through my, as you can see, concrete beam. So yes, finally this is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, I will be adding more videos that will definitely help you guys in your drafting endeavors in Revit. Hope to see you guys into the next one. Thanks.